Hello there, you aspiring property moguls. If you've ever dreamt of breaking from your 9 to 5 hustle and bustle and you're thinking of starting an Airbnb business, then you are in for a treat, because today we are going to smash all of the myths and the misconceptions that you've probably heard and that have been holding you back from your Airbnb success. Now just imagine this: you're lounging in the pool somewhere in a hot country, sipping on a fresh drink, while your service accommodation business is hosting guests and your bank account is just growing month in and month out. Sounds like a dream. Well, here's the thing. Let's turn that dream into a reality. Now look, it's not to say it's going to happen tomorrow, but if you start putting the work in from today, then I promise you, 12 months from now, your life will look totally different. So let's get into this. So myth number one is you need a lot of money to get started. So let's just kick off this myth that scares many potential entrepreneurs away. The belief that you need deep pockets or you need to have good credit to get started in this business. Here's the reality. There are two major ways that you can actually run an Airbnb business that require little to no money at all. Now, depending on your situation, you can decide which one is going to work best for you. The first one is one that you've probably heard of. This is a very popular strategy known as rent to rent. So instead of having tens of thousands of pounds to put down, as a deposit to buy a property, rent to rent actually allows you to rent a property from a landlord, furnish that property, and then use it as an Airbnb. Now, because Airbnb typically generates, double the profits compared to a traditional property, you can pay that landlord back their rent, and then you get to keep the profit. See? Now, this strategy actually works well for those people who've, maybe you've got some money, to put down for the rent and deposit, as well as, some money to actually purchase the furniture for the property as well. The beauty with that is you can start to generate money from a property that you do not even own. So that's the beauty of the rent to rent. The second way you can do this, and this is the way that we focus on in my Airbnb Success Blueprint Academy, and it's known as co-hosting or management. Now, this strategy allows you to control a property without even having to invest a penny of your own money. You're like, what? How does this work? Now, with the knowledge that you now have of how the business works, you just simply approach landlords and you advise them of how much more money they can actually make from the property if they would just use it as an Airbnb instead of a traditional rental. Now, because they're going to be typically generating double the amount, this is very appealing to them, believe it or not. Landlords like to make money. What you then do is you simply take over that property, you do the work, you manage the whole process, and you get paid a service fee of between 15 to 25% of the money that the property brings in. Now, this strategy works well for those people who, let's say you've always had the desire to change your life. And you want to make money through property, but for whatever reasons, maybe you don't quite have the the cash reserves to do the rent to rent strategy, or maybe you've just had bad credit and you just know, even if I've got the money, I'm not going to be able to pass a reference check. Either way, with a little bit of knowledge, you can go out there and build a 6-figure business by helping landlords solve their problems. That's it. Now, myth number 2: Airbnb is saturated. There's no more room for newcomers. So have you ever heard someone say, like, the Airbnb market is saturated? There's no room for newcomers anymore. Nonsense. This is a myth that's not unique to the Airbnb market space. Lazy people from all walks of life always find an excuse as to why something is not going to work for them. Unfortunately, although these people have no experience, their words are the ones that ring the loudest. Because successful people, they've got their heads down doing the work. Their voices are not loud enough to actually counter the nonsense. And, that's exactly why I started this channel. Someone's got to be telling people what's truly possible for their lives. Now, I remember during the COVID era, and there was a lot of scaremongering about the demise of the Airbnb business and how the hospitality business was finished. Now, this scaremongering, unfortunately, scared some people. And what a shame. Because it turned out that during those 2 years, Airbnb businesses had their biggest growth ever, because the solution to people not staying in hotels was Airbnb. Where they could isolate as a household, they had the freedom to move around without bumping into people, in hotel lobbies and things like that. And even on the other side of the argument, those people who felt there was too much restrictions, they also used Airbnbs because they didn't want to be told, where they could go and where they couldn't go, when they paid the money to stay there. So the reason people were saying Airbnb was dead was the reason why it was actually flourishing. Now, the professionals were able to see this data straight away, and we use this information to scale businesses really, really quickly, whilst other people was being scared off. So what's the moral of the story? Do not listen to people who are not where you want to be or have had any success in the area that you're considering going into. Airbnb businesses are still very lucrative. It's a very young industry that continues to grow and is now starting to compete with the hotel industry, which isn't going away anytime soon. And more people are starting to find out about the Airbnb solution. And when they do, they don't want to go back to hotels because, the flexibility. This product is absolutely incredible. This business is here to stay. So what is myth number 3? Landlords and agents do not want to work with you. This is a famous myth. Landlords and agents are not willing to work with you. Spoiler alert. If that were true, then this industry would not even exist at all. If you're new to this industry, please just ignore the people who are saying this. And if you're already in the industry and you're struggling to get landlords to work with you, I want you to know it's not your fault. Because a lot of the information out there is not outdated, especially when you think about the last 6 months. It's not all about communication. And when you can communicate your value proposition correctly, even the toughest of property gatekeepers, they're going to be won over. Landlords and agents are no different from anyone else. They've got problems that need solving, and right now, they've got a lot of it. But what most people do is they go into conversations with landlords and they tell them the problems that they're facing. Don't tell them what problems they're facing. The issue with that is people are different and they focus on different things. And until you know what problem they are focusing on, it becomes difficult to solve it, right? So all you have to do is ask them the right questions that will make them tell you what their problems are in their own words. And then you can show them how your services will solve that problem for them. That's when the value for them seems increased. Now, the biggest problems that landlords have right now is their mortgage rates have just doubled and in some cases tripled. And this is not something that they can pass on directly to their tenants. And if they want to sell, then that's also an issue, because right now we're in a buyer's market, meaning there's a lot of properties on the market right now with only a few buyers. So buyers have the power and they're making offers to reflect that. So unless landlords want to sell at a discounted rate, they have to stay in the rental market. Now, once you can solve this problem for them, you're in business. And they will come flocking over to you. So listen, that's pretty much it. Now, in conclusion, you've got it. Those myths have just been smashed to pieces. The path to Airbnb success is not paved with unsolvable problems. It's a journey filled with opportunities waiting for the right mindset. So if you're ready to actually just silence all these naysayers, overcome these myths, and jump into building a business, then I promise you the keys to your property empire are much closer than you think. I think that's pretty much it. Now, as we wrap this up, please just share your thoughts and your experiences in the comment section below. Like, what myths have you heard, on your Airbnb journey, or as you're thinking of starting your Airbnb journey? So if you want support on your journey to building your Airbnb business, then why don't you join our private community of property enthusiasts on Facebook, where I share tips on a daily basis and answer questions that's going to help you progress on your Airbnb journey. Now, the link to the group is in the description section below. And look, do not forget to subscribe for more videos like this that are going to be helping you supercharge your Airbnb property business. Now, until next time, remember to fight for your freedom, because freedom is never given. It is won. You are just one landlord away.